My husband gaslit me into thinking that his flirting with a female coworker was just me being jealous and insecure because I was hormonal from pregnancy. Posted by you/Profess Overthinker. Hi Reddit. I, 30F, have been married to my husband, 34M, for over 6 years. We have 2 beautiful children, a 3-year-old and an 8-month-old. We've been together for over 10 years, and our relationship has been amazing from the beginning. About a year ago, I was approximately 6 months pregnant. I noticed my husband paying more attention to his phone whenever he came home from work. One night during dinner, when his phone kept dinging, I asked him about it. I asked, "Who has your attention lately?" It was a female coworker who had just transferred to his department, along with a good colleague of his in this group chat. I had never heard of this female coworker, so I tried to play it off as my husband being nice to a new colleague. Days went by, and that phone became the bane of my existence. It constantly dinged, and I was fighting for his attention whenever he got home from work. I had enough. So, one night while he was showering, I went through his phone. And there it was, the group chat, along with Instagram messages between just my husband and his female coworker, teasing each other about work. I confronted my husband immediately and confessed that I had indeed gone through his phone. I was certainly embarrassed, as this was a first for me, but I explained that I had a hunch something wasn't right and needed to see it for myself. I pointed out that the group chat was quite unusual, but the private chats on Instagram were highly inappropriate for a married man. I simply requested that he refrain from having private chats with her, but I was comfortable with the group chat. He agreed and apologized for making me feel that way. A few months later, I was approximately 8 months pregnant. As we were returning home from a summer vacation, my son's iPad began dinging repeatedly in the backseat of my car. Unbeknownst to me, my husband had inadvertently connected his iCloud to our son's iPad. Suddenly, there she was, repeatedly appearing on the iPad, sending text after text. And this time, there were even pictures. I was at my wit's end. I confronted my husband with such rage, anger, and distrust. His reasoning was, "You're just feeling hormonal right now. This isn't you. You're not the jealous, insecure type. Once you're no longer pregnant, you should get to know her, have a drink with her, and you'll like her." Using my own hormones and emotions against me, at 8 months pregnant, I unfortunately caved, believed him, and left it at that. Shortly after welcoming our newborn baby and adjusting to our new family of 4, we experienced pure bliss. However, our blissful state was short-lived, as paternity leave ended and my husband returned to work, along with his female coworker. One evening, after we had tucked the children into bed, I found myself browsing through my husband's phone, admiring pictures of our children. And then he gets a message, and it's from her. I instantly, without hesitation, opened the conversation, and my mouth dropped. It was a conversation where my husband was begging her to work a specialized assignment with just him. The two of them, alone in a car, 5 days a week. I felt an instant wave of regret. Regret for not listening to my gut months ago and letting him gaslight me into thinking this situation was all in my head because of my hormones. Now, I want a divorce, but my husband is begging me to not ruin our family. Am I the jerk for wanting a divorce? Top/relevant comments. Has Up met her husband's coworker? I've actually met her before at a work gathering for my husband. He introduced me to everyone at this party, except her. When I finally saw a picture of this female coworker, I knew I had seen her before and asked him where I had seen her. He did say, at the work party, and when I asked why he didn't introduce me to her, he replied, "You were busy getting to know everyone else." Commenter. It's so disingenuous of your husband to beg you not to divorce him when he was actively pursuing this other woman until you confronted him about his behavior. Had you not gone through his phone, he'd still be sniffing around that woman and lying to your face every day about it. You should most definitely divorce your husband. He's not worthy enough to be your partner. Op's response. I did ask him this too. I asked him, what would happen if I never saw this conversation? He told me he'd most likely continue to lie to me about it. Commenter 2. Your husband is the jerk, not you. He has gaslit you for months, and it is possible that the coworker is unaware that he is married with kids as well. Try to get this across to her and go from there. All the best, Op. Op's response. I've actually reached out to her. She told me she is like this with all her male coworkers and then proceeded to try and add me on social media after she was made aware that she was causing rifts in our marriage and was shocked and felt horrible. However, she continues to engage in these conversations with my husband. I am absolutely not blaming her, my husband was engaging her, but she is aware of what she is doing. Commenter 3. Leave him, there is nothing to save here. He's a master manipulator, and you're easily manipulated. Please go into the next one with your guard up, and everyone who cares about you with their guards up. Op's response: I never thought I was easily manipulated, until now. Our entire relationship has been absolutely wonderful, so it was easy to believe this was all in my head and heightened by my hormones while pregnant. It hasn't been until recently, when I see my kids and think, you will not have a mother who is emotionally controlled by a man who wants to be an uncommitted husband and father while he steps out on us while he's at work. Commenter 4. He'll return to the pursuit after Op calms down. He'll just cover his tracks, delete messages, get another phone, or only communicate in person with the other woman. Op's response: This is what I am afraid of. We are young, in our prime. I can't imagine 20 years from now this happens again with someone else, because I'll be kicking myself thinking I should have left 20 years ago when I felt fabulous about myself and knew I had a ton to offer to someone else who actually appreciated me. Op should send screenshots of text messages to her husband's HR department. I'm actually friends with his boss's wife and may have already dropped hints about how I don't like this girl because she is a pick-me girl. I've planted the seed. What kind of pictures are involved from the messages? They are pictures of her that he took, all of them at work, so in appropriate attire. Absolutely flirting. Cute, playful banter. Teasing each other about how they get on each other's nerves while at work. Showing her pics of our home, her saying, "Wow, are you rich?" when he damn well knows I paid for the house. Op on if she thinks they hooked up. I absolutely agree. I may be naive, but I personally do not think they had an affair. He works day shift, surrounded by tons of people, in the public eye at all times, comes home right after work, and drops the kids off at daycare every morning. I just don't see where he would find the time. But if there's a will, there's a way. I think that if this doesn't stop now, it will absolutely lead to a physical affair. That, I am not naive about. Every time I've caught him texting her, it's gotten more and more inappropriate. Op adds an edit to her post. After reading all these comments and absorbing the advice, I finally realized that I'm not hormonal and not the sole reason behind this marriage's failure. So, thank you for validating my feelings all along. As for my husband, I've asked him to leave the house until I've made a decision. Initially, he didn't believe me, but when I took the kids and told him he better not be here when I returned with them, he was beside himself. He completely lost it. He's begged me to reconsider, offering to block her, leave his job, and do anything else to keep us together. But a few months ago, I politely asked him to stop texting her privately. His response was, "I thought I was just being her friend. I didn't see it the way you did." What upsets me is that he didn't take me seriously back then, but now that I'm packing up our kids and leaving, he suddenly takes me seriously. We'll see what happens when I get home. Op adds a second edit to her post. I returned home from an evening out with my kids, grateful that my husband respected my wishes and wasn't home when we arrived. After putting the kids to bed, I received a text from my husband asking if he could come over and talk so we could resolve our issues without involving the kids. I agreed. As soon as I opened the door, he handed me his phone. On the other line, I heard her, the female coworker. She was saying, "Hello, hello?" I immediately hung up his phone and demanded to know why he wanted me to talk to her. He claimed they had been discussing all night how they could convince me that they were nothing more than just good coworkers. I reminded him that this marriage is between the two of us, not three, and that the only person who needed to address this mess was himself. He insisted that I speak with her and even had the audacity to suggest getting that drink I told you to get with her a few months back when you were no longer pregnant and crazy. I told him, "Get out and have that drink for me, because we are done." It took considerable effort to get him to leave, as he sobbed about leaving his children, but I didn't care. He clearly still wants to gaslight me into believing that this is my issue with her, not his issue with disrespecting our marriage and his crazy hormonal wife. Update 4 months later. Hi Reddit. It's been almost 5 months since my original post. I haven't forgotten about you, and I've thought about giving an update many times. I was just waiting for the perfect moment, and now feels like the right time to share. We are divorcing, finally. Originally, we took some time apart to cool off, dig deep, and think about what we really wanted, while trying our best not to let any of this affect our children. We did couples therapy, individual therapy, and even went on a vacation, just the two of us. Everything felt like it was falling back into place, like before any of this even happened. I was starting to come to terms with the emotional affair and the gaslighting until, well, I'm sure you guessed it, the female coworker came back, not that I think she ever really left. I was so close to trusting him again, but out of curiosity, I went through his phone one last time. And by God, wouldn't you believe it, I found a picture of my husband in his female coworker's car, running errands for her. I didn't need an explanation, I didn't even read the context of how and why he was there. I simply laughed. We put the kids to bed and I said, Do I need to make you an errand list in order to get your full attention? He instantly knew exactly what I was referring to. I told him to get out, and maybe call in to work the next day, because he should spend the day looking for a divorce lawyer. And really, that was simply it. We are currently in the divorce process, and it's going as smoothly as you can imagine. He's getting all his legal advice from coworkers, lol. Again, I just wanted to say thank you all for the love and support. My hormonal self thanks you from the bottom of my heart. Top/relevant comments. Commenter. Girl, I knew it. I am so proud of you for not falling for his BS. You gave him every chance and he spit in your face, trying to convince you they were just friends. I'm curious, did he run to her? Op's response. I can only imagine, if they weren't having relations before, they are now. However, it wouldn't look good in court to be in a relationship with a woman you were having an affair with while claiming you weren't. Automatically makes you an untrustworthy liar.